The stars look different from out here. Captain Tae-ho Kim stood on the bridge of the ESS Pioneer, humanity's first faster-than-light ship, and watched the unknown galaxy spread before him. After 3 months in deep space, his crew had adjusted to the strange silence between the stars. "Captain, we're picking up something," said Lieutenant Jun-woo Park from the weapons station. His fingers moved quickly over the screen. "It's big, and it's not natural." Dr. Hae-Yun Choi looked up from her station. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had waited her whole life for this moment. "First contact," she whispered. Captain Kim straightened his uniform. His sister Soo-jin, the ship's communication officer, gave him a quick smile from her station. They had joined the space program together as children after their parents died. Now they would make history together. "All crew to alert status," Kim ordered. "Not emergency. Just be ready." The object grew larger on their screens. It wasn't one ship but 7. Sleek, purple-hulled vessels that moved in perfect formation. "They're beautiful," Soo-jin said as she prepared the first contact message. The message was simple: mathematical equations, basic atomic structures, and a greeting in 47 Earth languages. "Sending now," she said. The bridge crew held their breath. This was the moment humanity had wondered about for centuries. Were we alone? The answer was now clear. No. The alien ships moved closer, spreading out to surround the Pioneer. "Captain, I don't like this formation," Park said, his hand hovering over the shield controls. "It looks like..." The first blast hit before he could finish. The Pioneer rocked violently. Alarms blared across the bridge. "Shields up," Kim shouted. "What just happened?" Another blast hit, stronger than the first. A control panel exploded near Soo-jin's station. She screamed as she was thrown across the bridge. "Soo-jin!" Kim tried to reach his sister, but another hit threw him back to his chair. "Engine damage at 40%, reported Engineer Do-Yeon Lee over the intercom. "Captain, we can't take much more." Dr. Choi rushed to Soo-jin's side, pressing her hands against a wound on the communication officer's neck. "I need medical here now." Park fired the ship's defensive weapons, but they barely scratched the alien hulls. "Their shields are too strong." Kim looked at his sister bleeding on the deck, then at the alien ships on the screen. They had sent a peaceful greeting. Why were they being attacked? "Lee, can we jump?" Kim asked. "Not far, but yes. We need coordinates now." Kim punched in a random set of numbers. Anywhere to escape this death trap. "Jump." The stars blurred as the Pioneer tore through space. The alien ships fired one last volley, but most of it hit empty space where the human ship had been. When they stopped, they were in an unknown region. The bridge was silent except for the hiss of fire suppressants and Dr. Choi's quiet sobbing as she closed Soo-jin's eyes. "She's gone, Captain," Choi said softly. "I'm sorry." Kim knelt beside his sister's body. His hand trembled as he touched her face one last time. Then something hardened in his eyes. "Send a message to Earth," he ordered, his voice low and cold. "First contact established with hostile alien coalition. ESS Pioneer damage. We have casualties." He paused, looking down at Soo-jin. Tell them peace was never an option." Park nodded grimly as he prepared the message probe. The aliens had struck without warning or reason. Humanity had reached for the stars with open hands, and they had been met with violence. As the Pioneer limped back toward Earth, Dr. Choi collected samples from the alien weapons residue. Engineer Lee worked to repair the engines, and Captain Kim stood watch on the bridge, his sister's blood still on his uniform. He had left Earth as an explorer. He would return as a soldier. The first battle of humanity's galactic war had begun, and Earth didn't even know it yet. The conference room was silent as Captain Tae-ho Kim finished his report. 7 days had passed since the ESS Pioneer limped back to Earth. 7 days since he had carried his sister's body home. Admiral Hyun-woo Kang, an old man with kind eyes, spoke first. Captain Kim, I am sorry for your loss, but we must be careful not to act in anger. The room held 30 people, leaders from Earth's United Defense Council. They had watched the pioneers' recordings of the attack a dozen times. With all respect, Admiral, Kim said, they fired without warning. They killed 14 of my crew. Dr. Hei-Yun Choi stood up. Her hand shook slightly as she activated her screen. The alien ships match nothing in our database, but I've analyzed their weapon signatures. They're called the Valaxian Alliance, a group of 7 alien species. She showed images taken from the battle. Their technology is at least a century ahead of ours. A council member frowned. How do you know their name if we've never met them before? Dr. Choi took a deep breath. Because they've been watching us. For decades. She played a recording. Voices speaking the strange language, translated by computer. Asterisk. The humans showed genetic volatility, unlike any species we've cataloged. Their adaptation rate makes them unpredictable. Council recommends containment protocol. Asterisk. The room erupted in angry voices. Admiral Kang called for order. This was intercepted 2 days ago by our deep space relay, Dr. Choi explained. They attacked because they fear what we might become. Lieutenant Jun-Woo Park, still wearing bandages from the battle, stepped forward. There's more. He played another recording. Asterisk primary strike unsuccessful. Human vessel escaped. Recommend immediate action before they can prepare defenses. Target. Earth. Estimated civilian casualties. Acceptable asterisk. The silence that followed was heavy. They're coming to finish what they started, Kim said quietly. Admiral Kang shook his head. We should try to communicate. This could be a misunderstanding. My sister tried to communicate, Kim said, his voice hard. They answered with plasma fire. The Defense Council voted. It wasn't even close. Later, Admiral Kang found Kim staring out a window at the stars. I've spent my life seeking peaceful contact with alien life. The Admiral said, I never wanted this. Neither did I, Kim replied. But they've given us no choice. The Admiral handed Kim a tablet. The Council has commissioned a new ship, the ESS Defiance. It's yours, if you want it. Kim took the tablet, saw the specs of a warship unlike anything humanity had built before. We're not ready for this war. No, Kang agreed. But readiness is a luxury they didn't give us. The next day, Dr. Choi requested a meeting with Kim. Her lab was filled with samples from the alien weapons. I found something, she said, showing him microscopic images. All 7 Valaxian species share this cellular structure. It makes them sensitive to a specific frequency of radiation. She looked up at him. It could be weaponized. Kim stared at the images. You're talking about a biological weapon. I'm talking about survival, she said. We're outnumbered and outgunned. Kim thought of his sister, of her belief in peaceful contact. Then he thought of the Valaxian message. Asterisk estimated civilian casualties. Acceptable asterisk. Do it, he said, but keep it between us for now. 3 days later, the ESS Defiance launched with Captain Kim in command. Engineer Do-Yun Lee had joined his crew, bringing new shield technology she'd developed by studying the Valaxian weapons. As the ship cleared Earth's orbit, Kim gathered his crew. The Valaxians think humans are dangerous because we adapt quickly. Today, we prove them right. The crew stood at attention, faces grim and determined. We didn't want this war, Kim said, but we will finish it. The Defiance accelerated toward the stars, carrying humanity's answer to the Valaxian threat. Behind them, Earth prepared for a war no one had seen coming. And somewhere in the darkness between stars, the Valaxian Alliance was about to learn why threatening humans was a terrible mistake. The ESS Defiance hung in the darkness near a small moon. The ship was bigger than the Pioneer, built for war instead of exploration. Its black hull swallowed light rather than reflecting it. Captain Tae-ho Kim studied the star map. There, That's our target. The screen showed a small Valaxian outpost orbiting a red dwarf star. Intelligence said it housed only a few hundred aliens with minimal defenses. Are you sure about this, Captain? Lieutenant Jun Woo Park asked. This isn't what we trained for. Kim nodded. Our mission is clear. Show them humans can fight back. Then leave. Engineer Du Yan Lee spoke up from her station. Captain, my new shields are ready. They adapt to enemy weapons after first contact. She looked proud but nervous. They've never been tested in real battle. Let's hope they work, Kim said. Dr. Choi, your team ready? Dr. Hae-yun Choi nodded. Her face was pale. We have the radiation emitters installed. But remember, this is just to disable their communications, not to harm them. Kim had refused to use her discovery as a deadly weapon. Not yet, anyway. All stations ready, Park announced. We can jump to the target in 3 minutes. Kim took a deep breath. He touched the small metal pin on his uniform. Su Jin's communication badge. For Earth, he said quietly. Jump. The stars blurred and twisted. When they stabilized again, the Valaxian outpost filled their view. A spinning ring structure with purple lights. They've spotted us, Park said. 2 patrol ships launching. Shields up, Kim ordered. Weapons ready, but hold fire until I command. The patrol ships raced toward them, sleek and fast, like the ones that had attacked the Pioneer. They're charging weapons, Park warned. Kim gripped his chair. Hold position. The first alien blast hit the Defiance. The ship trembled, but the new shields glowed bright blue and held. Shields at 92%, Lee reported with a smile. They're adapting already. The aliens fired again. This time, the shields barely flickered. Shields holding at 90%, Lee said. It's working. Now it's our turn, Kim said. Target their engines only. Fire. The Defiance's weapons lashed out, bright beams that cut through space. The first patrol ship spun away, damaged but not destroyed. Second ship coming around, Park warned. Dr. Choi. Now, Kim ordered. Choi activated her device. Invisible waves of radiation pulsed from the ship. On screen, the alien vessels suddenly slowed, their lights flickering. Their systems are disrupting, Choi said. It worked better than expected. Target the outpost's defense systems, Kim ordered. Careful shots only. The Defiance fired again, taking out weapon turrets on the ring station. The humans had expected a small victory at best. Instead, they were dominating. Captain, Park said, sounding surprised. The station is surrendering. They're lowering shields and sending a signal. The crew looked at Kim. This hadn't been part of the plan. Open a channel, he said after a moment. The screen showed a Valaxian, tall, with purple skin and 4 eyes. It spoke in a translation voice. Human vessel, you have victory. We offer submission. Please no harm civilians. Kim thought of his sister, of the Pioneer crew who died without warning. Revenge would be easy now. We don't target civilians, Kim said finally. Unlike you. The alien lowered all 4 eyes. Mistake was made. Great error. Tell your alliance leaders. Earth fights back. But we don't kill without need. After the Defiance jumped away, leaving the damaged but intact outpost behind, Park approached Kim. Why show mercy, Captain, after what they did? Kim looked at his sister's badge. Because I won't become what I hate. 3 days later, the Valaxian Alliance sent ships to Earth bearing a message. They offered peace, but with terms that would limit human expansion and technology. Earth's council meeting was short. Admiral Kang delivered humanity's official response himself. Peace was never an option. Not when it means surrender. The message was sent. Across Earth, factories began building more ships like the Defiance. The first battle had been won. But the war had only just begun. 2 months after the first strike, Dr. Hae-yun Choi worked late in her lab on Earth. The war was not going as well as their first victory had suggested. The Valaxians had adapted quickly. The lights in her lab flickered. Choi looked up, reaching slowly for the alarm button. "Please, no alarm," said a soft voice from the shadows. "I come to help." A figure stepped forward, tall and thin with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. Not Valaxian. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" Choi asked, her finger still near the button. "I am." The alien made a sound like rushing water. "In your language, call me Whisper." It held up empty hands. "I am Mirith, enemy of Valaxian, like you." Choi's scientific curiosity overcame her fear. "Another alien species. Are you allied with the Valaxians?" Whisper made a motion that might have been a laugh. "No, we're slaves. For many years." The alien touched a metal collar around its long neck. "Many species are. Valaxians conquer. Always conquer." "Why come to me?" Choi asked. "You understand biology. Weapons without killing. My people watch your first strike." Whisper's eyes blinked slowly. "You showed mercy. Rare thing." The alien pulled out a small crystal. "Star maps. Valaxian worlds. Defense codes. Help you fight." Choi took a deep breath. "I need to call others." Admiral Hyunwoo Kang studied the strange alien as it sat across from him. Captain Kim stood by the wall, watching carefully. "You say the Valaxians have conquered 17 species?" Kang asked. Whisper nodded. "Over 200 of your years. We are oldest conquest. Some are new, only few years slaves." "And what do you want in return for this information?" Kim asked, suspicious. "Freedom," Whisper said simply. "Help free my people." "Other people?" Jai-Ho Yoon, Earth's lead diplomat, spoke up. "Can you contact other conquered species? Could they rise up if we attack the Valaxians? Some will fight, some too afraid." Whisper pointed to the crystal now connected to Earth's computers. "But this help you reach our worlds." Kim frowned. "This could be a trap." "Every war has risk," Admiral Kang said, "but also opportunities." He turned to Whisper. "We need proof of your information's value first." Whisper touched the crystal. It glowed, showing a Valaxian battle formation. "Their next attack. 3 days from now. 6 ships." Kim's eyes widened. "That's the Centauri defense line. We only have 3 ships there." "Now you know. Can prepare," Whisper said. "This proof enough." 3 days later, 6 Valaxian ships jumped into the Centauri system, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they found 8 human ships waiting in ambush. The battle was short. 3 Valaxian ships were destroyed, 2 captured, and 1 escaped. In the Earth Council chamber, Whisper watched the battle recording with the human leaders. "Information was good," Admiral Kang admitted. "Perhaps we can work together." Captain Kim had been given command of the joint operation. "If we do this," he said, "we do it my way. No civilian targets, no mass destruction weapons." "Agreed," Kang said. "We fight to free, not to destroy." Whisper bowed slightly. "My people waited long centuries for a chance to fight back. We almost lost hope." The alien looked at the humans. "Then came your kind. So young, yet so fierce." Jai-Ho Yoon drafted the alliance terms. "We'll need to meet representatives from the other enslaved species." "They will come," Whisper promised. Story of human victory spreads. Gives courage. As the meeting ended, Dr. Choi approached Whisper. "I'm curious. Why did you call yourself Whisper in our language?" The alien made that water sound again. "Because for too long, freedom was only whisper among my people. Now with humans, it will become shout." That night, Captain Kim sent a message to all Earth ships. "We are no longer alone in this fight." The Valaxians created their own worst nightmare. They united their victims against them. Across the stars, the Nerith began spreading word. Humans are coming. And they do not surrender. 3 years passed. The war had changed both sides. Admiral Tae-ho Kim stood on the bridge of the ESS Vengeance, a ship 3 times larger than his first command. Through the view screen, he watched Earth's newest battle group prepare to jump. "They look so young," he said quietly. Admiral Hyun Woo Kang nodded. "They are. But they learn fast." The fleet was led by Commander Min Soo Chung, just 28 years old. He had joined the Space Forces after his parents died in the Valaxian attack on Luna Colony. "Chung's tactics are unusual," Kim said. Kang almost smiled. "That's why they work. The Valaxians still think in straight lines. Chung thinks like a storm." On the command ship, Commander Chung briefed his pilots. "Remember, the Valaxians expect us to attack their front lines. Instead, we'll split into 5 groups and hit from multiple angles." His pilots nodded. Many had their ships painted with personal symbols, a practice that had shocked the traditional admirals but had become common among younger crews. "We jump in 2 minutes," Chung said. "Good hunting." In her lab on Mars base, Dr. Hae-Yun Choi injected a sample into a test chamber. 3 Nereith scientists worked nearby, their blue hands careful with human equipment. "This version only blocks their telepathic network for 6 hours, Choi said. "But it affects all 7 Valaxian species without permanent harm." Whisper, now Earth's official Nereith ambassador, observed the test. "When Valaxians lose telepathy, they lose coordination. Makes their ships vulnerable. Admiral Kim insists we use non-lethal methods when possible," Choi explained. "Strange," one Nereith scientist said. "In war, why limit power?" Choi thought of the change in Kim over the years, how the vengeful captain had become a cautious admiral. "Because he fears what we might become if we don't." Her computer chimed, a message from engineer Do-Yeon Lee, now Earth's research director. The new weapon was ready for testing. Choi felt cold when she thought about what Lee had created. In deep space, Commander Chung's fleet engaged the Valaxian border patrol. His ships darted in impossible patterns, firing from unexpected angles. Valaxian commanders, used to formal battle lines, couldn't predict where the humans would strike next. "Target their communication arrays," Chung ordered. "Fire the disruption missiles." Special warheads carrying Dr. Choi's formula exploded near Valaxian ships. The aliens' coordinated movements instantly became chaotic. "Now, attack Pattern Typhoon," Chum commanded. His ship spun into a spiral formation that tore through the confused Valaxian fleet. In 20 minutes, it was over. 15 Valaxian ships disabled or destroyed. No human ships lost. On Earth, the Defense Council received a surprising message. 2 species from the Valaxian Alliance, the Joraks and the Vel, wanted separate peace talks. "They fear us now," Jae Ho-yoon said. "Our reputation spreads." Admiral Kim frowned. "What reputation is that?" "That humans adapt faster than any species in known space. That we turn enemies' strengths against them." Yoon looked troubled. "Some call us the storm that walks." Before Kim could respond, alarms blared. On the main screen, a massive Valaxian fleet appeared near Luna Colony. "How did they get past our sensors?" Kang demanded. No one had an answer. The Valaxians had adapted too. Luna Colony had 10,000 civilians. The defense fleet was too far to help. "Get me Commander Chung," Kim ordered. "Tell him to jump to Luna immediately." But it was too late. The Valaxians opened fire. Luna's dome cracked like an egg. In minutes, Earth's oldest colony was gone. That night, Admiral Kim stood alone in his quarters, looking at his sister's badge. The badge that had reminded him to show mercy, to be better than his enemies. His door chimed. Do-Yeon Lee entered, carrying a datapad. "The Council has approved my project," she said. "The Sunforge is ready." Kim closed his eyes. "I never wanted this." "Neither did Luna Colony," Lee replied. Her voice was gentle but firm. "The Valaxians crossed a line today. We must answer." Kim looked at his sister's badge one last time, then placed it in a drawer. "Show me the weapon," he said. The memorial for Luna Colony filled Earth's largest park. 10,000 empty chairs represented the lost. Admiral Tae-ho Kim stood stiffly in his uniform as families placed photos and flowers on the chairs. "Public support for the war is dropping," Jae-ho-yoon whispered to him. "People are scared. They want it to end." "So do I," Kim said. 4 years of war had left lines on his face that hadn't been there before. Admiral Hyun-woo-kang joined them, leaning on a cane. "The council wants a briefing on Lee's new weapon." Kim's jaw tightened. "I've seen it. I won't approve it." "We should at least hear the presentation," Kang said. Do-yeon Lee stood before the Defense Council, her normally neat hair now wild from too many sleepless nights. Behind her, a screen showed a star. "The Sunforge works by accelerating a star's natural fusion process," she explained. "It can turn any star into a time bomb." The room was silent. Lee continued, "We inject specially programmed nanites into the star's outer layers. They multiply and burrow toward the core, changing the fusion rate as they go." She showed a simulation. "The star will go nova within 24 hours. You're talking about destroying entire solar systems," Kim said. "Billions of lives." Lee's eyes flashed. "Like the lives on Luna." The Valaxians didn't hesitate. "If we use this, we're no better than they are," Kim argued. "Better." Lee laughed, a harsh sound. "Better won't bring back Luna. Better won't win this war." The council voted. The Sunforge would be held in reserve, not deployed yet. Kim left the meeting relieved but worried. The fact that they were even considering such a weapon showed how much the war had changed them. At Mars Shipyard, Commander Min Soo-chung prepared his fleet for a major offensive. Intelligence suggested the Valaxians were planning another attack on Earth itself. "Our job is to hit them before they can launch," he told his pilots. "We strike their main staging area at the Arcturus jump point." As the fleet prepared to jump, sensors blared a warning. Valaxian ships appeared from nowhere. "It's a trap," Chung shouted. "They knew we were coming." The Valaxian fleet was the largest humans had ever seen. Over 60 warships surrounding the Mars shipyard. "How did they find us?" Chung's second-in-command asked. Chung had no answer. He opened a channel to all human ships. "Defensive formation. Protect the shipyard at all costs." The battle was brutal. Human ships fought desperately, but they were outnumbered. The shipyard's outer rings began to break apart under Valaxian fire. Inside the command center, Chung received the evacuation order. "Get the workers out," he told his officers. "I'll hold the command post." "Sir, you need to evacuate too," his second-in-command insisted. Chung shook his head. "Someone needs to coordinate the defense until everyone's clear." He looked at the young officer. "That's an order. Go." As the last escape pods launched, Chung activated the shipyard's emergency thrusters. If the yard was lost, he would make sure it cost the Valaxians dearly. He aimed the massive structure directly at the heart of the enemy fleet. On Earth, Admiral Kang watched the feed from Mars with horror. The shipyard, humanity's largest space construction, was breaking up. Then it began to move, accelerating toward the Valaxian fleet. "What is he doing?" someone whispered. The shipyard crashed into 3 Valaxian command ships. The explosion lit up the system like a small sun. When the light faded, half the Valaxian fleet was destroyed or damaged. The rest retreated, but the shipyard and Commander Chung were gone. Kang bowed his head. He had trained Chung personally. The young commander had been like a son to him. Do-yeon Lee entered the command center, her face pale. "Admiral Kang." "About the Sunforge." Kang looked at the screen showing the remains of the Mars shipyard. His eyes were no longer those of a man who believed in peace at any cost. "Prepare it," he said. "Target an uninhabited Valaxian system. Show them what happens when they push humans too far." The dark hour had come. and humanity's mercy had run out. The ESS Judgment hung at the edge of the Valaxian star system NEX 427. The system had no planets with life, only mining stations and defense outposts. Admiral Hyunwoo Kang had chosen it carefully. "Deployment ship in position," reported the weapons officer. Du Yanli stood beside Admiral Kang, watching her creation prepare to launch. Her hands trembled slightly. "Second thoughts?" Kang asked quietly. "No," Li said, "but I understand the weight of what we're doing." The small deployment vessel approached the system's star, a yellow giant similar to Earth's sun. It carried the Sunforge device, no bigger than a small car. "All Valaxian ships are evacuating the system," the sensor officer announced. "They detected our presence." "Good," Kang said. "We want them to see this, but not die from it." Admiral Tae-ho Kim had refused to attend the deployment. He had submitted his resignation instead. Kang had not accepted it yet. "Deploy the device," Kang ordered. The small ship released the Sunforge. It fell toward the star, a tiny speck against the massive ball of fire. Then it vanished into the star's outer layers. "Nanites activating," Li reported, watching the data stream. "They're multiplying and moving inward." "How long?" Kang asked. 6 hours until critical mass." Kang nodded. "Set course for safe distance. Inform all ships to clear the area." On Earth, Dr. Hae-Yun Choi worked frantically in her lab. She had discovered something in the Valaxian transmissions that changed everything. "It can't be," she whispered to herself. But the evidence was clear. She called Admiral Kim. When his tired face appeared on screen, she spoke quickly. "The original attack on the Pioneer. I found the order that triggered it." Kim's eyes narrowed. "What about it?" "It was based on a misinterpreted transmission from Earth." She showed him the data. "They thought our message about expanding rapidly to new worlds was a threat of invasion." Kim stared at the screen. 5 years of war because of a misunderstanding. "It seems so," Choi said. "But there's more. I can't find any Nerith communications from before they contacted us. It's like they didn't exist until we needed allies." Before Kim could respond, alarms blared across the planet. On every screen, a new star appeared in the sky, visible even in daylight. The Sunforge had worked. The star NEX 427 had gone nova. Across the galaxy, the light of the exploding star reached Valaxian worlds. The message was clear. Humans had the power to destroy entire solar systems. In the High Command Chamber, the 7 leaders of the Valaxian Alliance met in emergency session. "The humans have crossed all boundaries," said the Valaxian war leader. "They can destroy stars now." "And yet they chose an empty system," noted the science leader. "They could have killed billions." "They chose not to." "It makes no difference," argued another. "They have shown their potential. They must be stopped before they use this weapon again." "No," said the oldest member, the wisdom leader. "We cannot win this war anymore. The humans adapt too quickly. And now this weapon." "You suggest surrender?" asked the war leader in shock. "I suggest peace, real peace, before more stars die." Admiral Kim sat alone in his quarters when the message arrived. The remaining Alliance species had immediately contacted Earth with unconditional surrender terms. The war was over. Humanity had won. But Kim felt no victory. He reopened the drawer where he had placed his sister's badge years ago. It seemed like a lifetime had passed. "What have we become, Soo-jin?" he whispered. His door chimed. When it opened, no one was there. Only a small crystal, Nerith technology. And a note. "We have what we needed. Farewell." When security teams searched the Earth Embassy, all Nerith representatives had vanished. Their ships were gone. Their communications went unanswered. That night, Kim packed his few belongings. His resignation had finally been accepted. As he left his quarters, he passed Dr. Choi in the hallway. "Where will you go?" she asked. "Somewhere quiet, away from stars and wars." He looked tired beyond his years. We won, but at what cost? You tried to stop it, she reminded him. Not hard enough. He looked out the window at the stars. We've shown the galaxy what humans are capable of. I fear what that means for our future. As Kim walked away, Earth celebrated its victory, but some, like him, wondered who they had become in the process. 5 years had passed since the war ended. Humanity now controlled a large part of the galaxy. The Valaxian alliance had broken apart, with each species signing separate peace treaties with Earth. On a small farm on a distant frontier world, Tae-ho Kim worked the soil with his hands. His hair had grown long, and his skin was tanned from working outdoors. He had not worn a uniform since the day he left Earth. His small house sat on a hill overlooking green fields. No neighbors for miles, just quiet and peace, things he had not known during the war. As the sun set, Kim noticed a ship descending toward his farm. It was small, with the sleek lines of Valaxian design. He sighed and went inside to get his old service pistol. Visitors rarely brought good news. The ship landed gently in an empty field. A single figure emerged, tall and thin with the purple skin of a Valaxian. Kim waited on his porch, pistol hidden behind his back. Former Admiral Tae-ho Kim. The alien called out in surprisingly good human language. I'm just a farmer now, Kim replied. What do you want? The Valaxian approached slowly with empty hands raised. My name is difficult for humans to say. You may call me Seeker. I have traveled far to find you. Kim studied the alien. Young, probably born during or after the war. Why look for me? The war is over. Because you spared my parent, Seeker said. At the first battle, the outpost attack, my parent commanded the station you could have destroyed. Kim remembered. The first time he had chosen mercy over revenge. That was a long time ago. Yet it matters still. Seeker placed a small device on the ground. It projected an image, star maps, strange energy patterns, and Nerith ships. What is this? Kim asked. The truth. The Nerith manipulated both our peoples into war. Seeker's 4 eyes blinked sadly. They feed on conflict energy. The war was their harvest. Kim felt cold despite the warm evening. How do you know this? My parents spent years gathering evidence after you spared them. They believed there was more to the war than we understood. Seeker gestured at the projection. The Nerith are ancient. They have done this before, to other species. Kim sat heavily on his porch steps. Does Earth know? I tried to contact your leaders, but Earth Government Director Lee refuses to meet with any Valaxian. Do Yun Lee? She's running Earth now. Kim was surprised. Yes, and she pushes for more human control over former Valaxian worlds. She speaks of necessary dominance to prevent future threats. Seeker's voice was worried. Some say she will restart the Sunforge program. That doesn't sound like the Lee I knew, Kim said, frowning. It is not. Seeker adjusted the projection. Look here, Nerith influence technology. Mind control, subtle but effective over time. The images showed strange energy patterns around Earth's government buildings, similar to patterns near Valaxian High Command during the war. You're saying Lee is being controlled? Kim asked. Not completely. Influenced. Seeker turned off the device. I came because my parents said if anyone would listen, it would be you. The human who chose mercy. Before Kim could respond, another ship appeared in the sky. Earth military design. It landed roughly near the Valaxian craft. Admiral Hyunwoo Kang stepped out, much older now and walking with difficulty. Kim, thank the stars I found you. Admiral. Kim stood up, surprised. How did you find me? Followed the Valaxian ship, been watching for them. Kang eyed Seeker suspiciously. What's happening here? Kim made a quick decision. Something that concerns all of us. Come inside, both of you. We have much to discuss. As they entered Kim's simple home, Kang whispered, Dr. Choi sent me. She's found something about the Nerith. Something bad. I know, Kim said, glancing at Seeker. It seems we all have pieces of the same puzzle. For the first time in years, Kim felt the weight of responsibility return to his shoulders. Peace had been his refuge. But now, a different kind of war needed fighting. And this time, understanding the enemy would be more important than defeating them. Earth had changed. The gleaming towers of the central government rose higher than ever. Flags of conquered worlds hung in the Grand Hall. Director Du-Yun Lee stood at the main window, looking out at the city she now controlled. "Madam Director, they're here," her assistant said nervously. Lee turned, her face showing no emotion. "Send them in." The doors opened. Tae-ho Kim entered first, followed by Admiral Kang, and the Valaxian called Seeker. Dr. Hae-yun Choi rushed in behind them. "This is against protocol," Lee said coldly. "I did not approve of a Valaxian visitor." "We need to talk, Du-Yun," Kim said. He looked around the office, searching for something. "About the Nerith." Lee's eye twitched slightly. "The Nerith are gone. They left after the war." "Did they?" Dr. Choi stepped forward, holding a small device. "This scanner shows Nerith energy patterns. This room is full of them." Lee's hand moved toward a button under her desk. "Guards." Seeker moved faster than anyone expected. His thin purple hand pressed down on Lee's arm. "Please, we are not here as enemies." Security officers burst through the door with weapons ready. Kim raised his hands. "We're not armed. We just need her to see the truth." "Take them away," Lee ordered, her voice strangely flat. As the guards approached, Dr. Choi activated her device. A high-pitched sound filled the room. Lee screamed and fell to her knees. "Hold her," Choi shouted. "The Nerith implant is trying to protect itself." Kim and Kang rushed to Lee's side, holding her as she thrashed. Seeker helped Choi adjust the device. "What's happening?" Kim asked as Lee's eyes rolled back. "The Nerith placed control implants in key leaders," Choi explained. "Both human and Valaxian. This disrupts the signal." Lee suddenly went limp. Then her eyes opened, clear and focused for the first time in years. "Kim," she whispered. "What? Where am I?" "You're on Earth. You've been influenced." Kim helped her to a chair. "How much do you remember?" Lee looked confused. "I remember wanting to protect Earth. Then everything became extreme. Like my thoughts weren't fully my own." The security team watched in confusion. Admiral Kang addressed them. "Stand down. Your director needs medical attention." Hours later, in the council chamber, Kim addressed the gathered leaders of Earth. Lee sat nearby, still weak but determined to help. "The war with the Valaxians was orchestrated by the Nerith," Kim explained. "They feed on conflict energy. They've done this to many species." Seeker stepped forward, causing murmurs among the human leaders. "My people were as deceived as yours. We believed we were defending ourselves against human aggression." Admiral Kang displayed the evidence they had gathered. "The Nerith manipulation goes back decades. They planted misunderstandings, escalated tensions, then disappeared when they had harvested enough energy from our war. And now we have a choice," Dr. Choi said. "Continue down the path of dominance and control, exactly what the Nerith want, or forge a new way forward." "Why should we trust Valaxians now?" asked a council member. Kim looked at Seeker, then at his former enemies. "Because I once showed mercy to one Valaxian outpost. That small act created a bridge that led us here today. Imagine what real peace could build." Lee stood shakily. "I was used to push humanity toward domination. The Nerith aren't gone. They're waiting. If we continue as conquerors, we play into their hands." The council debated long into the night. In the end, they made their choice. 1 month later, representatives from 20 species gathered in the newly renamed Hall of Reconciliation. Humans and Valaxians sat side by side, former enemies now working to understand each other. Kim, Choi, Kang, Lee, and Seeker stood together at the opening ceremony. My sister died at first contact, Kim said to the assembly. I thought peace was never an option after that. I was wrong. Peace is always an option, but sometimes we must fight harder for it than for war. As the new Galactic Cooperation Treaty was signed, Kim felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The stars would not see another Sunforge. The Nereith would not feed on their conflict again. Humanity had almost become the monster they feared. Instead, they chose a harder path, the path of understanding. The real victory was not in conquest, but in the courage to begin again.